Hello, welcome back to She's Out the Vicarage. These are some beautiful views that I captured while being away with my family recently in the Lake District in England. It was the most beautiful few days away, and we stayed in a very simple Airbnb, and I loved the simplicity, and it's brought me back home with a renewed vigour to try and totally simplify my life and work down, and that works perfectly as we begin our November Declutter Challenge. And so the challenge is that every day I declutter that amount of items as the date. And so I began on the 1st of November on day one, getting rid of this plastic coat hanger from my youngest son's room. We've got enough coat hangers and don't need this. Then on day two things to go today, 2 CDs that I've listened to. I was inspired by Diane in Denmark going through her record collection and listening to everything one last time and deciding whether to keep it or not. So I went and listened to these two, not actually on CD, but listened to them online on Spotify, and decided that I can let go of these 2 CDs. The Snow Patrol one has the track Chasing Cars on, which was my husband's and my song, and so I was tempted to keep it, but no. And Armageddon, I actually watched the film on a beach in India on my gap year, so again, the emotional attachments. But I'm not going to listen to these 2 CDs. I'm not going to listen to the whole CDs ever again, and so they can go through. And I thought I'd tackle this little corner of my office. So I'm going to get everything down on my desk and then go through this to try and find 3 things to go. Okay, so the first thing I notice is this, which is the instructions for my watch. But actually, when I looked in it, I realised it's not the instructions for my watch at all. It's a totally different clasp, so I don't know why I'm holding on to that. That can definitely go. A receipt, that can go. A card that has been sitting there for over a year. What I do with my cards, I don't know if I've shared this before, is that I actually photograph them and add them to our photo album each year. So that needs photographing, and then that can go. Another card that can go. I'm going to keep this ink because I do sometimes use it, but I don't think keeping it on the shelf, as you can see, gets it really dusty. So I'm going to put that down with my paints. Unfortunately, I'm definitely over 40 now. So I'm going to have one last flick through this book and then pass that on so someone else who's 40 can enjoy it. And then lastly, let's just look through this. I think I'm going for more than 33 things today, but okay, I've got a key ring here and a key. The key ring can definitely go. I don't need that. No one wants it. Don't know what the key is for. I'm going to attempt to try and work out what the key's for, and then that can go, but probably not this evening. So that might be tomorrow's task. And then these stones, I absolutely love these stones. I think they're pretty special because they're different. This is a lid of that pot. I am going to keep that pot. So that's one thing to stay. And I do like these stones, although, let's even look at that with the lines in it. They're beautiful. That one's got nothing on it. So I'm going to let that stone go. That bolt I'm just going to return to the garage. And now these earrings were beautiful earrings that were bought for me. And I attempted to make them smaller because I knew I'd never wear them. They were probably double this size, but I don't wear big earrings. I really don't like them. And so I tried to reduce them down, but unfortunately, as you can see from that crack, I've actually ruined them and have to accept that they can go. So in this cup, I'm going to keep my stones back in here. I actually use these stones for reflections, for meditations, to reflect on our lives. Our lives aren't perfect, just like these stones. And so I often get people to choose a stone and then reflect on why they chose it. So I'll keep that. This stone, oh, it is quite special on the back. Yeah, okay, that can stay. And last of all, one of my congregation gave me this seed, and I'm not a gardener. Keep meaning to plant it. It's a runner bean seed, but I think now it's cracked, it's probably never going to work. And so I'm going to accept that that too can go in the bin. I have had it for a few years and I should have probably used it up. So I'll keep this pot for now in there with the stones. we've done quite well. So that's to stay. We've got that will go. I'll have a look through that and deal with that tomorrow. So I've got some earrings, a stone, some cards and a seed. Not too bad. There we go, day 3. So 4 things today. I'm getting rid of this printer. That can go to the tip. It is broken. And however much I wish I could get it repaired, I can't. I'm getting rid of this key ring. The key doesn't fit anything, so that can go in the bin. And this is also going to go, this book. I've had a look through it. I've made a note of some of the brilliant tips that it gives. And so I'll share those with you in a different vlog, but the book itself can go now. Day 5 and the 5th of November. I decided to go through my youngest son's summer shorts and jumpers and see what could go there. Perhaps his drawers are a bit too full still, but here's what went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of shorts. Today, all 6 items that are going have been replaced, starting with these new socks, getting rid of some old socks. And recently I've got lots of new jumpers, and so I'm saying goodbye to old faithful jumpers and replacing them. Rather than building up and tripling my jumper collection, I decided to swap these jumpers. So as I say goodbye to one jumper, I'm showing you my new jumpers. You'll see these in future videos because I'm really enjoying these 3. 3 jumpers gone, and then with my new socks, which I showed you at the beginning, I also swapped out 3 old pairs of socks as well. Okay, so 7 things to go today. I've managed to work a bit on the top of this cupboard. And from this cupboard I have found some plant pots that have very big holes in, and unfortunately with our slug problem these don't work for me. I didn't use them last year. I saved them after getting some daffodils, but they just don't work for me, so I'm going to let those go. And these, so some plant pots. I found this Stanley knife that I'm never going to use, and so that can go. A padlock that actually does work, although it looks a bit rusty, it does work, but again I'm not going to use it, so that can go. So that's 3 things. These plant pots have seen better days and I'm tempted to use them next year, but I think they're a bit too mouldy and rotten, so they can go. That's 4. Randomly a bit of recycling, 5. Then 6 are these 2 craft projects that my children made that I've intended to put up in the garden, but I think really they are much too small. If you think that's my finger, the hole is about as big as my finger, and I don't think a bird is that small, so I'm actually going to let those 2 go. They enjoyed making them, but maybe that's the thing, and they can go. And then lastly I found a bag with some bird food in it, and so that's going to go out on the bird table. So there we go, 7 things to go today. Hopefully that's given you some inspiration to join me in the November declutter and see how many items you can get rid of this month before we get more things probably at Christmas. This is me on the top of Helvellyn in the Lake District after a very tiring walk up, but just think what you can achieve in the most simple ways. So go for it this week. Thank you for everyone who subscribed, and see you again in the next one. Take care. God bless.